everyone. Today we're going to be talking about breakthrough strategies, and they're not mine. I never ever claim that things are mine if they are not. They are Dale Beaumont's, and they come from the Business Blueprint Expo that many of us here actually attended a couple of weeks ago. So I thought, for those of you who didn't get the opportunity to attend, why not give you the takeaways? Because I'm taking a whole day's worth of content. And by all means, I encourage you to actually go to the event, but I'm taking a whole day's content, smashing it into 4 pages and hoping to get it done in 30 minutes. So let's see how we go. Hence the glasses. So hopefully there's no mistake. But it was really a really good and beneficial day. And for those of you who don't know, I did sign up. So I did sign up to the Platinum membership. It is quite it's quite expensive. However, right now with where my business is, I was looking for something to help my team grow. And this was particularly good for that. If you take action, because it is mostly a group-led program. So this quote over here is from Henry Ford. If you believe you can, you will. If you believe you can't, you're right. Have you heard that one before? So basically, a lot of these principles here that he talks about today, and I loved how he broke them up into specific categories, many of which I prioritize in my training. So I have them in those categories. The recording will be available at the end of this, as well as it being put into a blog on the website for you to access. But often this is the missing piece. So when we talk about coming to these Monday sessions, the ones that come to the Monday sessions are the ones that are getting a lot of education. And it's often the education that you don't think you need is the education that you do need. And number one here is actually mindset. For me, I actually only incorporated mindset after about 3 years of working doing this particular offer and this business that I had. After around 3 years, I went, why are some of my clients getting results and others aren't? Some of them had less additional basics. Some of them had less email lists, contacts in the email list. Some of them had less opportunities. However, they were the ones who seemed to get so much better results and the others didn't. And yet they were doing the same things and following similar strategies. And I couldn't understand why, even when they were taking action. And it came down to this one thing. And it was something that I now put a lot of emphasis into and focus on within the business. And it comes down to mindset. I realized that without the right mindset, you could actually be setting yourself up to fail rather than succeed. So these, again, are Dale Beaumont's takeaways. They're not my own. However, I have put a sentence or two at the end of each where I will give my feedback on it. So with mindset, firstly, he said that it is important that you take complete responsibility for your results. So how many of us are actually comfortable taking complete responsibility for any result that you get with anything that you do? Number 2 was stop blaming everyone else or using your circumstances. And it's like, whoa, you kind of know these things, but you get it and it's like, whoa. Number 3 is eliminate your limitations. So consider some of the things that you might be doing or saying, like, I can't do it, or it won't work for me, or I'm not good at doing that, or I don't enjoy doing that. Become aware of the things that you're saying and then make a decision to change it. Number 4 is you can make money or you can make excuses. So what's your decision? What do you decide to do? Get clear on your why, because it's your why that can often keep you going and continue to motivate you. The cost of ignorance versus the cost of education. So would you prefer to be ignorant, or would you prefer to focus on growing and educating yourself? You don't need to do things on your own, and you can invest in yourself to get better at doing things that you don't like doing. And be a person of action. I must say, being a person of actions becomes naturally for me because I am a motivator. So for me, this is where I identified that my mindset, particularly my money mindset, my self-belief, self-talk, were all becoming limitations, along with some trust in myself. And there are things that I continue to work on an ongoing basis. In fact, I now get excited. I get excited when I catch myself doing something and going, you know what? I need to work on that thing because that thing over there is pulling, is holding me back. So I'm constantly checking myself and constantly working on myself. So awareness, checking in, and then making a decision to changing things. So number 2, the focus was on marketing. And obviously I got really excited about this. But number 1 was get super clear on your audience and where to find them, as it is super expensive to market to everyone. And I cannot say this enough. Like sometimes we think we know who it is that we want to work with, but we don't really. You know, I always liken it to if you were stalking someone. So if you met someone on Tinder and you wanted to go stalk them, that's how intensely you need to stalk them. Number 2, a lead magnet can improve your website conversion by 10 to 25% versus those with no lead magnet, which is only 1 to 3%. So for someone like Ashley, I was saying to him the other day, you don't need a website because websites convert at 1 to 3%. So you don't need a website. It's better for you. You can have a landing page and you can have a lead magnet without actually having a website, which I did for the first 5 years of my business. Focus on having less on your landing pages or you will lose them. And we have been finding this even in the test phase. Many of us go through and create a massive sales page when really, if you have compelled them in your content, you literally just need to take their email address or just take payment. So our landing pages really should have a lot less on them. Number 4 is a marketing strategy should have at least 4 legs to balance and can improve your website then by 400%. All right. So when we talk about different marketing strategies, it's about looking at what is it? Is it book a call? Is it come to a webinar? Is it download this opt-in? Is it attend my masterclass? Is it having free resources? Is it running a challenge, doing a competition? These are all marketing strategies, and it's not about having one, it's about having multiple. And the last one was around testing and measuring. And I say tweaking. So many times people want to go in and they just want to change things, but you actually need to analyze what stage is it failing and tweak that stage rather than go and change. And I like to do this on a weekly basis. So yes, you may not be good at it. Yes, you may not be good at marketing. And yes, you may not enjoy it, but your success comes down to how good your marketing is, whether you like it or not. So number 3 is sales. If you are negative about sales, you'll make less sales. Money is in the follow-up, and you've heard me, it's one of my favorite F words. And over the last sort of 6 months, I know that people are needing more touch points now, and they are needing more follow-up than ever before, if you're talking about service-based businesses. So if someone says to you, get back to me, get back to them. Number 3, include videos because your conversions can increase by 11%. So in your sales pages, include a video. Use social proof everywhere, which is something I talk about all the time. And then this was pretty cool, but Magalog, which is a cross between a magazine and a catalog, they are using Magalog and sending it through as a almost like a catalog. And they're getting 42.5% conversions with less sales time. So in this Magalog, this magazine catalog, you can have success stories, handle objections, give some education, and have product information in it. So it's almost like a virtual catalog magazine that you can send to someone, say your B2B partners, and it is helping people connect, and it is touching them in a way that you get a yes a lot sooner, which is pretty cool. Consider that you're not selling to them, you're servicing them, and focus on helping them to make a better decision that is in their best interest. Because of course, you have their best intentions at heart. Then you're not selling to them, you're serving. So sometimes that can make you feel a bit more comfortable in the sales process. All right, so then we've got systems. So there was an acronym. So if you take the SYSTEMS, it stands for Save Yourself Time, Energy, Money. So if you want to put that acronym somewhere, ask yourself, will I ever have to do this again? And if the answer is yes, create a system for it. And a particular tool that I'm using that was introduced to me from Business Blueprint is called tango.us. So if you're in Chrome and you've got tango.us, which is free, my virtual assistants now are all recording everything that they do. Tango.us screenshots it in stages and then saves it as a PDF workflow. So rather than someone having to watch a whole video of what to do, this is actually step by step by step, which is particularly good. So my virtual assistants right now, they have 2 weeks to document every single process that they do and save it as a PDF file in our training folder. So if anyone's sick, has a baby, suddenly leaves, we have that process there that we can hand on to someone else. It is not faster if you do it yourself. And I am going to question some of these things. People can do it like you. So a lot of people go, people can't do it like I can, but people can do it like you and they can do it better when you do have a system and a strategy. Start by mapping out what's in your head. So you know I'm a big fan of the brain dump. The tool that they recommend was called MindMeister, but many of you have used Canva and just done a mind map brain dump to get everything out of your head. 20% of your time is spent on income producing activities. So what are you spending the other 80% on? If we're only spending 20% on income producing activities. And of course, we've been reading the book at the moment, Essentialism, which talks about, doing the high priority items first. Have workflows recorded. So they recommended Lucid Chart. However, the one that I'm trying at the moment is called Miro.com, MIRO.com. It's just a cheaper version. So I was just looking for something cheaper, to tell you the truth. I also use Trello as a project management system. So obviously they're recommending a project management system. And as I said, tango.us records your workflows. So if you don't have a system, then you are the system. If you could do it on your own, then you would have already. And opportunities are never missed. They are just picked up by other people. And I love that one. Opportunities are never missed. They're just picked up by other people. So I learned this the hard way. A couple of years back, I had vision board that I wanted to travel around Australia and I wanted to get paid to present in all these different locations. It literally was the day before flights were cancelled because of COVID. That's why I'll never forget it. I'd already been about a third of the way through my tour. And while I was going on my tour, I suddenly realized that I still had to service my clients. I still had to handle inquiries. I still had to, manage my business and my household. And I still had to handle my staff whilst presenting all day and flying all around to do it. And I went, my systems are not as good as they need to be. So it highlighted for me how important your systems are. So when I say to you, I have good systems, and even this week, I'm even making them better, then you can understand how important systems are. So after that, we've got outsourcing, okay? And this is the one I'm going to challenge us all on a little bit today. It is recommended to have both local and virtual assistants. I have a list for you, which I am able to share with you, which was given to us, so it is public. I can share with you a list of, I think it's about 100 things that you can outsource. So you can go through the list and tick all the things that you'd like to outsource. It'll help you then identify what person in your business that you actually need. Remembering that they're different brains. So if you're wanting a creative person, they're different to a salesperson, they're different to an admin person. Those are 3 different people. If you're trying to get one person who does all 3 things, I'm telling you now, they're going to be generalists and they're going to waste your time and your money. I also want, it says to you here, obviously they're big fans of outsourcing, but I personally believe that there's a season for outsourcing, and there's a season for you to invest in yourself. I invested in myself. I didn't have the money to outsource to other people. And when it was that case, I invested in myself to do things better. Then when your business grows and scales, then you can actually start spending money on outsourcing. But you have to be able to hand over the marketing strategy to them. Now, I had an appointment this morning with a virtual assistant business. So they handle virtual assistants, and I was talking to them. In the last month, I've spoken to 2 digital marketing agencies. And out of these 3 companies that I've been talking to, every single one of them agrees that you have got to have a marketing strategy and a system before you can hand it over to someone else. I cannot say this enough, because too many people go, I don't know how to do that, so I'm giving it to someone else. But if you don't have an overall strategy of how you want that done and what the intention of that thing is, the overall intention and strategy of that is, they are just monkeys, and they are there just to perform tasks that you give them. If you cannot give them direct tasks, you will be in trouble. One of our VIP members, who's not on the call at the moment, he's paying for a virtual assistant for 30 hours per week. We listed all the activities that this virtual assistant does for him. My virtual assistants do 20 hours a week. They were doing 4 times the amount that this virtual assistant was doing. Only because he didn't know any better, and the virtual assistant will only do what they need to do. So if you don't know what you're giving them to do, it's going to become very expensive for you. Super expensive. So profit first, because I have done some training on profit first already. If your income is less than $200,000 per year, you should only be spending 15% per year on staff. That is bookkeeper, accountant, and any other virtual assistants that you may have. That was insane. I'm spending probably triple that on staff. So I'm now going and cutting back all of it because I'm spending way too much compared to my income. So have a look at your income. 15% of that you can spend on staff if you're looking for a number. If not, you need to be doing it yourself. So basically, I believe in outsourcing very responsibly, and I believe it can make or break businesses. You have to have a good foundation in your business and you have to have a direction. You have to have strategy. You've got to have processes before you can pass it on to someone else, because they are only going to implement it for you. All right, now we're talking about leadership. So as a business owner, you always hear me say you have to own your business. So he recommends that you write a 5-year vision for your business. Develop a mission statement that inspires you. Now, mission statement, I use the principle from Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, I've probably read it about 3 times now. It talks about setting a goal, talking about I want to achieve this, this, and that by this, this, and that. But Think, Grow, and Rich puts the next part on and says what your contribution for that will be. So I will have this, this, and this by this, this, and this date by helping others and doing this, this, and this. So it's an energy exchange. And you'll notice, some of you would have seen it 1,000 times. It's on my desktop. So every time I screen share, it'll come up. It's on my phone as a screensaver, and I have it around the house as well, so that you can see it, you can say it, and empower yourself with it. Also create your company values. This is really important. And I think back to the book that we're reading at the moment for book club, which is Essentialism, in that if something's not part of your values, if it's not part of what you're hoping to achieve, it's a no. It's either a yes or a no. It's not a maybe. And it doesn't go into your calendar unless it is part of your company values, unless it's part of your mission statement, unless it's part of that 5-year plan. So to be a successful leader, Dale says it comes down to 3 things. 1, education. We continually need to be educating ourselves in all aspects of business, but in all aspects of systems, outsourcing, mindset, marketing, sales. And that is why we have these VIP masterminds every Monday, and they cover a wide selection of topics all the time, because we've got to constantly keep ourselves in the know, because whoever knows most is going to be able to do better. Number 2 is work with a coach. All coaches have coaches. All right. I'm your coach. I have a coach. I met Greg Smith's business coach last week. He said, I want my marketing coach and my business coach to talk to each other, know each other, and work alongside each other. No problem. He's attracted like-minded people, which is great. So we can quite easily work together. It's not competition. We work together. And the third one is your environment. Your environment is incredibly important. In life, you're going to have naysayers. And sometimes that naysayer is yourself, but just check the environment that you're in. For me, I need to play. I need to get out. I'm even distancing myself from my twins, my teenage twins at the moment, because they're going through a particularly challenging time in their teen years. But it's really important that you consider the people that you surround yourself with. And even Megan and Brad, who'll be sleeping next to us when we go camping. So it is imperative that as your business develops and grows, that you work on becoming a good leader. Not only will it help with yourself and your confidence within your business, but it's going to help you with your staff. It's going to help you with your customer retention and your client acquisition. So with regards to long-term planning, and this is my 2 cents with this, I personally struggle with a 5-year vision of where I'm going to be in 5 years. So for me, I personally, I'm always an activator. So I always put myself in a position to move forward, and I always empower myself. And when opportunities come, I take and I figure them out along the way. So it's always worked for me as a person. So for me to focus on 5 years and where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do, I can't do that. So instead, what I do is I focus on the feeling of what I want in 5 years. How will I feel in 5 years with my money, with my house, with my dog, with my partner, with my children? And that for me is quite easy, because that means that I take my feeling with me when I get put in these opportunities to jump forward. So technology, okay. This one always gets me because like I recently had a lady contact me, and she wants to be an Instagram influencer. She's spoken to me 1,000 times. She wants high-end brands sponsoring her stuff. She wants to wear it on Instagram, and she wants to get paid, plus all the bags and the clothing and everything. But she doesn't want to be online. And I said to her, being an influencer and getting these jobs is going to require you to be online, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. It's going to require you to be online. No, I hate being online. I'm not going to be online. I just went, if you want to have an online business, then you're going to have to be online, or don't have an online business. I love what Tara, is doing. Tara's empowered herself with Shopify. She's done really well, but we had the discussion around how she's going to probably need someone alongside her just to be able to get those more technical stuff done. And you have to know the vehicles that you use within your business. You have to know them. But here's some of the technology things that he recommended. Vouch, so VOUCH, is a video recording software that you can send to people so that they can leave you testimonials. It's called Vouch. Google Optimize. You can basically put 2 landing pages in with different images, and you can test them on Google to see what landing page converts better. So Tara, for example, when you were doing your Dreamer RV picture on the front page, you could test it with Google Optimize, test both images and see which one performs better. Number 3 was MobiMag, which I spoke about. It's a digital magazine catalog, which is basically like a company brochure. Answerthepublic.com. You know that that's one of my favorite tools, and my virtual assistants have to use that to see what people in Australia are searching for when it comes to marketing and lead generation. So answerthepublic.com. It is imperative that you use it to help you create content, emails, social media content, lead magnets. It would be really important to use that. Bonjoro, so Bonjoro, you can send people a personal video in email when they take action or they do something. So rather than send them an email, you can send them a voice recording. It's called Bonjoro. And then Rapid Reply can reply to emails with your voice. So instead of sending instead of sending a written message, you can send a voice recording message to them. You just have to hope that they actually click on it to listen to it. But I need to say this. What works for you, what works for some may not work for you, okay? So you need to start firstly looking at the problem that you have within your business and then come up with a solution. And it always comes down to researching tech. Now, it's one of my pet peeves when people go into Facebook groups and they go, oh, I've got a Shopify website. What email platform should I use? And you've just got, 30 different people, if not 300 different people giving you their 2 cents on it. At the end of the day, there's so many other things that you have to take into consideration. What the product is, what particular things that you need that platform to use. My other pet peeve is they go, oh, what platform do you use, Chantel? And I go, don't worry about what platforms I use because it may not be right for you. You don't need ActiveCampaign. It's an absolute beast. Go with something smaller. Greg, you need ActiveCampaign, but the rest of you probably don't need ActiveCampaign. So you don't need what anyone else needs. You've got to look at what your needs are, and you've got to make sure that your needs are fulfilled. So the next one was website. So make sure that your website is mobile friendly. So if you haven't looked at your website on a mobile in a long time, please go and do that. Please go and do that. Look at your mobile on a website. Make sure that you have an opt-in on your website. Install Hotjar. So they said that there's this thing. I haven't looked into it yet. It's called Hotjar, Hotjar, and apparently it's better than Google Analytics to monitor your website traffic. Adding videos to your website increases your conversions by 5 to 10%. And learn about SEO. So for those of you, especially those VIPs, when you did my last program, there was a whole training video on SEO and how important SEO is. So if you go into the VIP group and you put in SEO in the search bar, you'll find an old recording on SEO and how you can do it yourself, okay? How you can do it yourself. So if you want to get more traffic to your website, you have to consider your overall strategy, and you've got to keep pointing people to the website. It's a comprehensive overall strategy. All right, social media. So he used a few that were sort of around ads, and you know that everything I do is about maximizing your online marketing without having to pay for ads. So I'm happy to discuss that with you in our own sessions together if you're interested in that. But social media, he just spoke about 2 things. And the one is having a Facebook group. And again, I cannot say this again. Not everyone needs a Facebook group. I just got an invite from one of my clients on the weekend to a Facebook group. Someone must have told him to set up a group. I'm thinking, why has this electrician set up a Facebook group? I don't think it's going to be a good leads funnel. The way that he's done it, we could potentially look at a few different things, but don't set up things just for the sake of setting up things. They need to have an overall strategy, which is front to end. And then leveraging YouTube. That's always one of my favorites because YouTube is Google. So not enough of us are actually using YouTube enough. So you have to be where people are, and millions of people on social media and multiple times per day. And you've got to remind them to go to your website, and you need to be pushing them down your funnel. So you have to know what your funnel is. Okay, so then we've got finance. So number 1, learn the basics of accounting. You do. Everyone knows I study accounting. I did a mortgage broker's coaching program. I met Asley because I sat down with him and went, right, how can I build my wealth because I've got a property. Now I want to get another property. So sit down. I will have those strategy free sessions with people because I want to learn about it. I don't go, oh, I hate it, I don't want to know. I want to know. I want to empower myself. I want to put myself in the right position to be able to achieve wealth. Get a good bookkeeper. Get a good accounting. Improve your pricing structure. So rather than it being time-based, look at value-based selling. Improve the way that you collect money. So think about subscriptions and reoccurring income and a one-step process to be able to take payment. I know that we've just added Apple Pay to our payment system, and we are now getting conversions so much quicker because they've just got to go Apple Pay, click, click, and take payment before they can even change their minds or think about it. Learn about the profit first principle. So if you want to come along with the book club with us, get that book, start reading it, because the 10th of October, we'll be talking about the takeaways. But they go on the principle income minus profit equals your expenses. 2 more to go. Wealth building. Create positive beliefs around money. I know I struggle with some of my mindset around money because of my upbringing in South Africa and some of the generational stuff that's been pushed onto me. So I deal with it, I release it, and I'm constantly empowering my money mindset muscle. I think of it like a muscle, and I'm constantly working on that muscle. Keep your credit file clean, and get a good finance or investment broker. So again, get good people around you. The last but not least is lifestyle. Write down 100 things that you want to achieve. For me, I have a bucket list. Every time I go, oh, that's on the bucket list, that's on the bucket list, we'll go and do it. And we'll write it on the bucket list. It's on my notes on my phone. And we're always writing and ticking it off, which is pretty exciting. But this particular one is writing 100 things that you want to achieve. So that's a huge challenge. And one that I certainly will be certainly will be doing. Not trying, I will do it. Also have goals for giving back. You know, we spoke about purpose-driven businesses. So giving back is really important. And then the last one is creating a dream book. So a dream book. Now, here's a funny thing. Some of you might have heard the story. When I left my husband and I was discovering myself, I realized I didn't know what type of partner I wanted to have. So before I went onto Tinder, I went and I actually dream booked him, and I wrote all the feelings that I would want in a partner. And then I went onto Tinder and I met Sandy, and we've been together almost 7 years. So, and about 3 months after dating him, I gave him the book, and he's a little bit sort of like about the whole woo-woo kind of stuff. He's on the fence still about it. He's curious, but he's still on the fence. Well, I gave him the book and I said, read this. And he went, no way. And I went, yes way, dude. Read this. This is what I wrote that I wanted in a partner. And look at this. And he couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I should have gone taller, darker, handsome. No, quite happy with Sandy. Thank you. So yeah, have a dream book. It is pretty exciting to have a dream book. And Jane, Mrs. Red, she'll tell you as well, you know, doodling things is actually quite beneficial for people. So the last sentence that I have, and then we'll go to questions if anyone has anything or any feedback or your thoughts. But the coward and the hero have the same fear. The hero does it anyway. And I love that. I thought, oh, I'm going to write that anyway. You know, the coward and the hero have the same fear. The hero does it anyway. So I'll leave you with that saying. And as I said, next week we will be talking about CRMs. So if you're around, we will be doing CRMs. We'll say goodbye to everyone that is on in space, and